Every single week since the beginning of this year, since Chris Hipkins took office, we have a personnel issue in the Labour Party. We now have personnel issues in the Greens Party, and we see grandstanding from the Te Pāti Māori. And so that is the coalition of chaos that you will be getting if you choose to vote Labour on October 14th. I don't think that's what New Zealand needs. New Zealand needs strong, stable government that knows how to run an economy and navigate the challenging waters we're about to go through. And all I'd say is you've got to party vote national. We have problems in New Zealand, and we should be really clear about defining them and then having solutions that deal with those problems. But I am over the talk and I'm over the discussion, because we either have a nurses shortage or we don't. And so what are we going to do to solve that problem? And I've heard nothing from this government. We're going to grow and incentivise young people to go into nursing. We're going to pay back their student debt if they be a nurse or a midwife, and we're going to have them stay in our system for 5 years. Because at the moment, every nurse we train, we lose 1 or 2 out the bottom end. So we've got to stop that, and we've got to start to do our very, very best to make it much more attractive for people in New Zealand. On the other hand, we need to open up our competitiveness on immigration so that we can really attract international qualified nurses that are here as well. So come to New Zealand for 6 months on a temporary visa, bring your family with you, find a job, and we'll support you with a $10,000 relocation package. Now, both those ideas of building talent from within New Zealand and attracting great talent from overseas is an example of a solution to a problem that we have around a nurse workforce. Not the only one, but a first logical, sensible first step. It's about $60 million a year for that particular program, and that comes out very easily of the remaining balance of the $400 million worth of consultancy spend we're going to stop. But I want to get really clear, we are turning the country around. We're either going to go solve that problem or we're going to keep talking about that problem for years ahead of us. And not only that, but the problem gets worse. We have an ageing workforce in nurses. We now have a situation where Australia has really done a clever job of being able to tap into New Zealand talent and to be able to siphon that through to Australia. And so we're going to lose more. So you have to put plans in place to do the very best we can, to be the most competitive we can in order to solve the problems that we have. Go look at our local water done well plan, the detail of how to navigate our 3 waters, and I was talking to mayors about that again last night. Go look at our proposal around how we teach the basics brilliantly, proposing an hour of maths, reading and writing. Why? Because we need to be able to get that job. That's the #1 job in education to get done so that we can realise this economic future that we want to have, the society that we want to have. Go look at what we've talked about with respect to electrifying New Zealand, seriously getting ourselves on a pathway to be able to reduce our emissions and to deal with climate change. Go look at the work that we're doing to power up our farming sector, key part of an economic backbone to get us through. So I just would put it to you, the National Party, look at the program that we've said, look, we've got a shortage of work nurses in our healthcare system. We've said let's bond our nurses into the New Zealand system for 5 years, and we will happily pay $22,500 of their student loan. So, we have the policies, we've had the ideas. Every week there's something new coming out. Encourage New Zealanders to, if they can't get it through the media, go to our website and look and digest with those ideas. We're going to be here in a country that is broken down. And I'm really clear-eyed about that, and that's why I say to you it's a turnaround job. We are going to turn the country around and we're going to get things done. Can we do it? Yes, we can. Will it require a lot of work and hard decisions and tough choices? Yes, it will. But we need to get ourselves to a different and better place, because New Zealand has been slipping relative to other places. So I will run things differently. I'm a person who's come from outside politics. I've been here 2 years. I've successfully led and turned around large organisations around the world and in here in New Zealand, and we're going to have a different approach for actually how we actually deliver results for New Zealanders. That's all that matters, is outcomes, and that's what this government doesn't understand. A lot of activity, a lot of spending money, but not delivering outcomes. We know what we're going to get from Labour, a government that actually over the last 5 budgets has done an absolutely appalling job of overspending its allowance, of overtaxing New Zealanders, of over-borrowing, printing too much money, causing domestic inflation, causing huge interest rate rises, slowing the economy up, and ultimately going to lead to higher unemployment. That's the legacy and the record that the Labour Party leave us. So for me, it's very clear. We want to see disciplined spending. We need to be able to see tax relief for individuals so they can actually navigate this challenge. And importantly, we need to see a plan to grow the economy. That's how we will make our way in the world in the future. The situation that as we have today is untenable. We have a government that has actually caused so much economic mismanagement that it has created the pain and suffering that Kiwis are experiencing today. What the people of New Zealand need is a leader who actually understands the economy and can actually get it working for people so they can get ahead. When you think about the cost of living, New Zealand is going backwards. Every New Zealander is going backwards. This government has mismanaged the economy terribly. It's created huge amounts of inflation, causing huge amounts of pain and suffering for everyday Kiwis. Financially it's tough out there. You have 20,000 New Zealanders not able to make their mortgage payments. You have 430,000 New Zealanders not able to pay back other debt. The Reserve Bank saying 22% of all income will actually be paid out on interest bills in the next few months. So there is a real economic challenge. And so the to-do list when we get to government is very simple. It is reduce the cost of living, grow incomes for all by growing the economy, build and invest in a resilient, future-proofed infrastructure, restore law and order, which is a major challenge, and make sure that we deliver better health and education. So I'm crystal clear about the priorities of what I need to do in government, and that's my to-do list and my starting point to turn the country around and get it back on track again.